our children listen to. We listen to music. You know, if we listen to it by ourselves, okay, we kind of adults and we know how to discernment. But you know, you let your kid get in the car and you jamming all this type of music that's negative, and then it's pumping it into their psyche, as you say again too, Sheldon. You know, pumping this stuff in their psyche. Then we're responsible for that. So we got to be real careful. You know.
Yeah,
for real,
man,
bro.
It is, man. It's the point. I said this before. I think children are happy because they just left a happy place. They just left the heavens. You know, their spirit is happy, and we say, you know, well, that sounded like they've been here before. Maybe they have. Who knows? You know, we don't know what happens in there and way up there.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
It ain't a lot about that, Sheldon, because my baby stay. But she be happy. She be in her own little world.
Yes,
oh, my bad, Vincent. I was just thinking about what shit how you doing, bro. You did that. Y'all she be talking,
for real, though, bro. Yeah. And also, too, with that, man, like, you know, historically, you know, the abuse, you know, and the discipline. And when people discipline their kids, like the yelling, man, and the beating and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's not necessary. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that. It's because historically, you know, we know where that comes from. Yes. You don't have to discipline a child like that by beating them. Because, I mean, it's just like, you know what I mean? You're like, you know, I come from the hood, like, for an example, like with pit bulls, right? The first one, when people fight pit bulls, they let them scratch first. Like, you match them up in size, same way in prison. You match them up with size, and you let them get out there. And the reason they match them up is because they understand psychologically that if you put a big one on a little one, you can knock the fight in it. You can knock the fight out of it and curl it for the rest of his life. That's the same way it is with children. Like if you keep stirring them, and you know you can literally curl them to where they can't expand for the rest of their life. That's why that type of discipline is never good.
Yeah,
it's never good. Right? You know what I mean? It's never good.
Yeah, spook them.
and verbal too, man. Verbal. I mean, I'm thinking about what Vincent's saying because verbal abuse, bro. You know, whether respect. I mean, I'm speaking from different issues. If the child seeing the mother being bullied, we talking about this bullying stuff. Where does this stuff start? At home, they see the daddy bullying mama or mama bullying daddy. They goes into their child, or you taking this stuff out on your child. Man, I seen a video, bro. Y'all got me thinking about it now. This little girl, bro, she was about 8 or 9, and she was telling her mom that you don't need our daddy. An 8 or 9-year-old girl now. I don't need my daddy. You know, he just be on Facebook with bottles in her head, and she was talking like a grown woman. And I was like, I wonder where she got that from.
You know where she got that from.
Right. There you go.
There you go. Where she got it from.
You got it from mama. But you see what I'm saying? You've been talking, and sometimes, I'm not saying every mother do this directly. They might be talking on the phone to their homegirl about the baby daddy or the ex-husband or whatever. Okay, that baby hearing that. So, you know, that's going into that baby or making that baby feel some type of way or this kid feel they got to choose. So, like you said, Shelby, most kids are happy. I look at my baby, most of the time she's happy. She's rarely sad.
Right.
That I've seen because she's been in good environments, healthy environments. But when you put a kid is being abused psychologically, bro, that's going to stay with them when they're adult. And that's what we create these monsters. And that's our fault.
Yes, it becomes because it creates a toxic situation. You know, it makes a situation toxic. Right. You know, you know what I can't stand. And we talking about kids respecting parents and parents respecting kids. Man, this is one thing I hate to see: women or even men cussing little children, talking to them little bitty kids. Get your MF here and get up in there.
Oh man,
I cannot stand to see that, man.
Right. Preparing them for prison is what I say, and I'm just being honest. That's what you're doing. When you're talking to them like that, you're saying you're nothing. Okay, when they start rationalize they're nothing, well, I don't care about my life, so I'm just going. We don't touching on these deeper levels. That's what you're preparing
but
for.
Then they don't have conflict resolution with that because you think every way to solve a problem is to cuss somebody out of fight.
Right. one of my things are done, Shelton, on Facebook. See what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You see them doing it.
And all day. So
all day,
every day, man. That I do none of that, man. That Facebook flexing and back and forth and all that stuff. I can't. I don't do it. Pick up my phone, holler at me, send me an email. You know what I mean? I don't do all that flexing back and forth and all that. I talk a lot about a lot of different stuff, but I don't do all that debating and back and forth. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. I'm not trying to be about peace out here in this world. I ain't about all that division and argument. And we talking about solutions. You know, we got enough chaos. We got enough people that subscribe to chaos. You did? So I'm not going to be another person that's going to be a part of that chaos and then talk out the other side of my neck. We should just get together. We should just all get along. We should just all love. You know what I mean? Don't forget all that. We should be able to not be a creative chaos if we're not going to expect chaos to come to us. Again, garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
You know, so with these kids, we got to set that example, man.
Right. Me and Brandon was talking the other day, man, and we was talking about, he was telling me about this, like, words.
Yes, sir.
Words, how powerful they are.
Spells.
Like, we were talking about this, and that's basically what he's saying now. What we're saying now is like, you know, how do you talk to your children? You know what I mean? And it's powerful because the first thing they respond to is emotions. Like it's like you go back to the music, right? You take the mama or the daddy jump in the car, right, and they turn on the radio. The little kid in the back seat. Boom, you put it on 97.9 and you hear whatever it is they got on the radio they listen to these days, and you in a club, they looking at me. They watching you, right?
Yes.
They looking at you jump. Like, that's my favorite song. So they're tuning it in with them right there, 'cause that's the first thing they watching. They don't know what they saying, but they looking at that parent. They're figuring they live. She is crunk off of this right here.
Right.
And there it go. Because, and that's how it is. They don't even understand what they listen to. But
they little sponges, man. They little sponges.
Bro.
They little sponges. Just soak up stuff. And again, if you see the little child with a bad attitude, you just look around. Probably somewhere in that arena, somebody they dealing with probably got a funky attitude, and now they kind of easing into that, you know. So you just want to just do the research on that part, because that child got a bad attitude. There's a reason, because as we say, most children are happy until they get indoctrinated by this world and its negativity, or other people put their bitterness on them. Okay, now the child is born, now the child is happy, but all negative conversations because they done had a breakup. Now if a person has a breakup, do you think they're going to be the go-to person to talk about when it comes to relationships? Probably not, especially if it was a bitter relationship. So all that child is probably going to hear, relationships are bad, men are bad, marriage is horrible. Don't you get know this? Don't you do know this? So you get all that, and so now you done put all this in the child, and so they already have these preconceived notions of how to think about, you know, the male species based upon someone that had a bad one.
Hey, man. Erica Badu had a song called Bag Lady. I know y'all brothers remember that, right?
Yes,
and that's what she was talking about. You got to get rid of all your baggage, you know what I mean? And, you know, and when we, you know, one of the biggest crimes to me of humanity, I'm not talking about even with man's law, I'm talking about crimes of humanity, is when you oppress somebody and oppressing them with words. You know, me and Vincent was talking about that. You know, one of the worst environments to put somebody in, or the oppressive environment, is not even the physical thing. It's the words. Because you can't even think without words, bro.
Right now, I mean? So, as adults, though, we're being oppressed by words. Because the English language has been all jacked up.
With words, bro. How many people have been told they couldn't do something?
Yes.
Their daddy wasn't nothing. Their mama wasn't nothing. So the words is what builds who. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the words is what builds you up. So then here you got this an adult, you know, who is being told all these negative things. They got all this stuff, and you know, in their mind. So here you go. Now you finna produce kids, and see the cycle keeps going on and on. You go
don't
do the right thing unless you break it.
Product of the environment. Product of the environment.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it's just like
product of the environment.
Yeah.
It's just like Brandon we were talking about, man. So with those words, it's like even in prison, right? Like go back to what Brandon was saying. Like we changed our whole wordplay. We changed everything. So being incarcerated, we wasn't locked up. They had us physically, but mentally we were gone. You see what I mean? Because we changed everything about us. Like, it wasn't nothing that they could do to harm us no more. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But that was all because we changed the language. We changed the way we looked at things and viewed things. And nobody could take that from you. Nobody could take it. So even in an oppressed situation, like Brandon said, you still have a sense of freedom because you got your mind. You're able to think, but you take the words away, you have nothing.
Definitely true, man.
Yes, sir.
And like you said, Shelton, I remember you said this one show, and you were right. You said, a lot of people have this mentality like, who are you to tell me? And the reason why I said that first is because we really need to have parenting classes. But it goes back to kind of what you said, Shelton. Some people go, who are you to tell me how to parent? Well, we all need to learn. We all can use a little help, here and there. That's what we're supposed to do, is help each other. But if we help parent, if we help with parenting skills, then we'll produce healthier children, not the other way around.
See,
we go to the children and blaming them and not holding the parents accountable.
We lost our sense. We lost our sense of community. Somewhere down the line, we lost our sense of community to where it really does take a village to raise a child, to where you can see a child or you can see a parent in a situation and able to say something and able to contribute something positive to that particular situation.
Right.
Hey, this child is crying or whatever, and I noticed that, this child's shoes are too small, this, that, and the third. Here's a couple of bucks, to try to help out. I'm not in your business. I'm not this, whatever, without taking offense. If you see a need, meet the need. But most of the time, we're dealing with such a selfish mentality and selfish attitude to where we can't even think of anyone else because I'm just trying to get mine. I'm just trying to do me. I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm out here trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? Solo dolo. So I can't think about nobody else. But that's where everything is going wrong, that we don't have that community. We all are important to one another. We all can add value one way or the other, right? But again, as we say, if I look at you and automatically disqualify you based upon what I may consider a person that can tell me something, I'm not going to listen to you. He's not dressed the right way. He's not driving the right car. He's not having enough money. His credit score isn't high enough. You can't talk to me. You can't tell me this. And the information you may be providing may be 100% valid. But again, we are so consumed with being consumers, we don't look at community. We don't see community. And this is not a knock. This is a call to action. This is a call to action for us to all be able to come together and see these kids as equals. See them as people. See them as human. See them as matter. See, their feelings matter. Their emotions matter. What they did would matter, because if they see that, then they'll produce. We talk about this negative cycle, they'll produce a positive cycle because they're going to show love. If they receive love, they're going to show love because they're going to know how.
Exactly.
Those that don't know how to show love, it's probably because maybe they didn't receive it and didn't know how to receive it, or didn't get it in the way that they thought. Or if the love was misconstrued, didn't communicate, hey, is that love, or am I understanding that a little bit differently? We don't have those conversations, man. We have to have those conversations. We have to have those conversations.
Hey, and you're right, Shelton. I agree with you. I like kind of what you said about love, too. And because I remember we did this little module about, what the human needs, and they were saying everybody needs a sense of belonging. And everybody needs a sense of love. And, and I'm glad you brought that up, because all this one deep stuff, bro, like, that's the madness, right? Because that's not human nature.
That's not how it's designed.
You know what I mean? But we're hearing these rappers talk about one deep, I'm solo, like you say, dolo, and all this. That's why I'm by myself. I can't trust nobody. Man, it's crazy because we ain't getting the right module. And like you was talking about love too. And we on the Straight from the Street segment. If we don't get the proper nourishment and show them the proper love, we'll mistake love for somebody showing us love, putting a pack in our hand or doing it. You know what I mean? That's how these cats talk, right?
Yes.
Hey man, show us love, baby. What you talking about something illegal though? You ain't talking about nothing that's no material, you know what I mean? So Yeah, it's very important, bro, that we teach. Because when we don't show these kids love, then they end up in gangs. That's why they end up in gangs, because they say,